They're big strapping guys, and they got tears rolling down their cheeks. But I understand, how they feel, and that's Cheyenne was their hero, and now they're getting to meet him in person.
Clint Walker was a Hollywood giant, tough, brave, and seemingly unstoppable. But behind the scenes, his life was far from perfect. While fans saw a rugged cowboy hero, Clint was quietly battling struggles no one could imagine. Fame couldn't shield him from pain, heartbreak, and personal battles that would shake anyone. So, what really went on behind the screen? Let's uncover the hidden trials of Clint Walker's life, Clint Walker's early life, and rise to Hollywood fame. To truly understand the later hardships in Clint Walker's life, we need to explore his journey from a small-town boy along the Mississippi River to the Hollywood star he would become. Born Norman Eugene Walker on May 30, 1927, in Hartford, Illinois, Clint entered the world with his twin sister, Naomi Lucille. Growing up during the Great Depression was difficult for his family, like it was for so many others at the time. Clint's father, Paul Arnold Walker, worked hard in the oil fields, while his mother, Gladys Huldah Walker, managed the household. But life was a struggle, and the family faced constant financial challenges. Eventually, Clint's parents divorced, adding another layer of difficulty to his early years. As he got older, Clint took on jobs to help support his family. He quickly learned what it meant to shoulder responsibility, working any job he could find, from delivering goods to taking on odd jobs around town. Even as a child, Clint understood the importance of hard work and did what he could to ease the burdens at home. These early experiences built a strong work ethic in him, something he would carry throughout his life and career. In his teenage years, Clint discovered a passion for bodybuilding. This was long before the bodybuilding craze took hold, but Clint enjoyed pushing his physical limits and building strength. Lifting weights became his way of standing out and growing his confidence. His powerful physique soon became one of his defining traits, eventually opening doors to a future in Hollywood. But at this point, Clint was simply a young man trying to find his path, never imagining he'd one day be an icon on the screen. Though Clint had a passion for building strength, life soon nudged him in a different direction. At just 17, he decided to leave high school. Not because he didn't enjoy it, but because he felt ready to support his family and seek new experiences. At that time, with World War II in full swing, many young men were enlisting, and Clint felt the call to serve. He chose the Merchant Marine, a group responsible for transporting vital supplies and soldiers across the seas. It was either go in the Army or join the Merchant Marine, he later shared. I'd already worked on the riverboats. It was a bold choice for someone so young, but Clint was determined to make a difference. His time in the Merchant Marine became a defining chapter in his life. He traveled to places he'd only dreamed of, gaining exposure to new sights and cultures, and he took on tough tasks that demanded both mental and physical endurance. The work was grueling, but Clint never backed down. He grew stronger and gained a deep appreciation for discipline and teamwork. It was during these years that Clint learned a crucial lesson. Hard work and persistence could see him through almost anything. After his service, Clint found himself at a crossroads, uncertain of his next step. He took on various jobs, working in factories, oil fields, and even as a truck driver, each experience adding something valuable to his life. While none of these jobs felt like his true purpose, Clint kept pushing forward, learning along the way. He was certain he wanted more out of life, but what exactly that was still eluded him. Clint soon took a leap and moved to Las Vegas, a city of dazzling lights, big stars, and endless possibilities. He landed a job as a doorman at the Sands Hotel, one of the hottest spots in town. His job was to greet guests and keep the front entrance running smoothly. With his towering, muscular build and rugged good looks, Clint was perfect for the role, and he quickly became a familiar face to the hotel's elite clientele. Working at the Sands allowed Clint to rub shoulders with the Hollywood crowd, giving him a taste of the glamorous world he'd never imagined being part of. One day, Clint crossed paths with a famous actor, Van Johnson. Known for his work in Hollywood, Van spotted Clint and was struck by his striking appearance and presence. He told Clint that he had the look and charisma needed for the movies, sparking a new idea in Clint's mind. Could he really make it in Hollywood? It was a dream Clint had never considered, but with Van Johnson's encouragement, the idea took hold. Clint realized this could be his chance to try something completely new. But as Clint pondered the possibility of acting, fate intervened again. When the Korean War broke out in 1950, Clint felt compelled to serve once more. He rejoined the Merchant Marine, bringing with him the experience he'd gained from his first service. This second tour taught him even more about discipline and resilience. After the war, he returned with a fresh perspective, ready to embrace whatever life had in store. Back from the war, Clint was finally prepared to give acting a real shot. Inspired by Johnson's advice, he moved to Los Angeles, the heart of the film industry, determined to break into the business. Though he had little experience, his tall, powerful build gave him a unique edge in auditions. Slowly, he began to land small roles in films and television, taking the first steps on a path he hadn't dared dream of before. Clint's career-changing moment arrived when he landed the lead in a new TV series, Cheyenne. He played Cheyenne Body, a tough and courageous cowboy who roamed the Wild West. It was an ideal role for Clint, perfectly blending his strength with his budding acting talent. Viewers were instantly drawn to his character, and the show skyrocketed in popularity. Almost overnight, Clint became a household name, admired coast to coast for his portrayal of the fearless cowboy. The role didn't just bring him fame, it changed the course of his life. Even with all the success, Clint remained grounded. He remembered his humble beginnings and the hard work that had brought him to this point. Fame didn't go to his head. He was known for his respect and kindness toward others. As his career expanded, Clint began to explore roles beyond the typical cowboy, eager to prove his range as an actor. In the war drama None But the Brave, directed by Frank Sinatra, Clint demonstrated his versatility. He also made a powerful impression in The Dirty Dozen, a star-studded war film, where his on-screen intensity left a lasting mark. Clint even ventured into comedy, taking on roles in Sam Whiskey, a Western comedy, and The Great Bank Robbery, showing he could make audiences laugh while still embodying his rugged persona. But Clint's life wasn't all fame and success. Behind the scenes, he faced his share of personal challenges that remained hidden from his fans. Despite the bright lights of Hollywood, there was another, less glamorous side to his journey. Clint Walker's personal battles and emotional struggles. Few realize that Clint's life was far from the glamour many associated with his Hollywood fame. Behind the scenes, he fought his own battles and wrestled with personal demons. Like many, he faced issues that were hard to handle. One of the greatest challenges he dealt with was alcoholism. At times, the pressure of Hollywood and his rapid success became too much, and Clint found himself turning to alcohol as a way to cope. This struggle affected various aspects of his life, making it difficult for him to stay balanced. Alongside alcohol, Clint also faced periods of deep depression, despite his public image as a strong and resilient figure. Being a star didn't make him immune to feelings of sadness or emotional struggles. Depression doesn't pick and choose, and Clint found himself weighed down by feelings he couldn't easily shake. His life may have seemed perfect to outsiders, but beneath the surface, he was dealing with powerful internal challenges. Both depression and alcoholism made even the simplest tasks feel impossible at times, and his journey to overcome them was neither quick nor easy. Clint had to face these struggles directly, learning ways to move forward even when life felt overwhelming. Additionally, Clint dealt with a smoking habit, which became another hurdle in his life. Smoking was common, especially during his time, and for Clint, It may have started as a way to handle stress or simply fit into Hollywood's culture. However, it quickly became a difficult habit to break. Like alcohol, smoking affected his health and well-being, and it added another layer of challenge as he worked to stay grounded. It was one more issue Clint had to face as he navigated the ups and downs of his journey. Yet, Clint remained determined to take charge of his career. He didn't want to be just another actor controlled by the studios. He wanted to shape his own path. This drive for autonomy led him to negotiate with Warner Brothers, seeking better pay and more creative freedom. Clint believed he deserved a say in his career, and he worked tirelessly to achieve that. Standing up to the powerful studio system wasn't easy, especially at a time when studios held nearly all the power. But Clint believed in himself and fought to gain control over his future. Eventually, he succeeded, winning the right to choose roles that resonated with him. This victory gave him the freedom to balance his career with other passions, allowing him to lead a life that felt more fulfilling and true to who he was. He married 3 times, each marriage bringing its own unique experiences. His first marriage was to Lucille Garver, a relationship that lasted 20 years. Together, they had a daughter, Valerie Jean Walker, who would go on to achieve a groundbreaking career as one of the first female airline pilots. Clint was immensely proud of Valerie's accomplishments, a bright spot in his life. However, after 2 decades, Clint and Lucille went their separate ways, and their divorce marked a difficult chapter for him. But, as he had done so many times before, Clint persevered, finding ways to move forward. After the divorce, Clint dove headfirst into his work. Acting became more than just a job. It was an escape and a source of purpose. The roles he played allowed him to channel his energy and emotions, helping him cope with personal struggles. Acting wasn't merely a career, it was a lifeline during some of his darkest times. In 1971, Clint faced a life-altering event that would test his resilience in unimaginable ways. While skiing, he lost control and fell, suffering a traumatic injury as a ski pole pierced his heart. The accident was nearly fatal, and Clint underwent emergency surgery that miraculously saved his life. The ordeal was frightening and painful, but against all odds, he pulled through. Clint's survival was nothing short of miraculous, a testament to his strength and resilience. Remarkably, within just 2 months of this life-threatening accident, Clint returned to acting. His quick comeback spoke volumes about his determination. Many would have taken much longer to recover from such an ordeal, but Clint's unbreakable will and drive to keep moving forward were undeniable. Then, in 1972, Clint faced another heartbreaking loss. His mother passed away. Her death was a devastating blow, adding another layer of emotional pain to an already challenging time in his life. Grieving this loss wasn't easy, but Clint, in his steadfast way, managed to find the strength to continue. He honored her memory by living life with the same resilience she had instilled in him. Not long after, Clint found love again. He met and married Giselle Hennessy in 1974. This marriage became a source of stability and happiness for him, and the two shared nearly 20 years together. For Clint, Giselle was a supportive partner, bringing comfort and companionship into his life. Both were 46 when they married, each finding a new beginning in their second marriage. Clint and Giselle built a solid, loving relationship, facing life's ups and downs side by side. Their life together was a cherished chapter, filled with shared memories and a bond that Clint had longed for. Life has a way of dealing out unexpected trials. In the early 1990s, Clint and Giselle's happiness was suddenly overshadowed by heartbreaking news. Giselle had been diagnosed with cancer. It was a devastating blow to both of them. Facing illness is never easy, but watching the love of your life battle such a relentless disease is a pain that cuts deep. Despite their efforts, Giselle's condition worsened. Clint stood by her through it all, giving her his unwavering support. After nearly 2 decades together, Giselle passed away on January 1st, 1994, at 65. Her loss left a hole in Clint's heart, and it was a profoundly emotional time for him. Losing a spouse is one of life's hardest challenges, and for Clint, the sadness was overwhelming. Just a few years later, Clint faced another wave of sorrow. In 1996, his father, Paul Arnold Walker, passed away at the age of 90. Losing a parent, regardless of their age, is always painful. For Clint, losing both Giselle and his father in such a short span of time brought an added weight to his grief. Yet, as he had done before, Clint found the strength to move forward. He didn't let the sorrow consume him. Instead, he carried on, embodying the resilience that had defined his life. Amidst the heartache, Clint found love once again. In 1997, a year after his father's passing, Clint married Susan Cavallari in a private ceremony at his home in Grass Valley. Despite his fame, Clint had always valued his privacy, preferring to keep his personal life shielded from public scrutiny. This wedding reflected that sentiment. It was a quiet, intimate event, underscoring Clint's desire for a peaceful life away from the spotlight. Susan understood Clint's wish for simplicity and privacy, and together they shared a life grounded in those values. Though he was a Hollywood star, Clint cherished life's quiet moments, and his marriage to Susan was filled with those treasured personal times. Clint's career continued even after his marriage to Susan. Though his last acting role came in 1998, he voiced the character Nick Nitro in the animated film Small Soldiers, a departure from his usual cowboy roles. This role was a fitting capstone to his career, allowing him to explore a new side of his talent. Little did his fans know, this would be Clint's final role. His work in Small Soldiers showcased his versatility, proving that he could still shine, even outside the Western genre. It was a meaningful way to close a long and accomplished journey in Hollywood. Despite the joy Clint found in his marriage to Susan and the fulfillment of a remarkable career, life handed him yet another hardship. In 2000, Clint's twin sister, Naomi Lucille, passed away. Losing a sibling is never easy, but for Clint, it was especially heartbreaking. As twins, he and Naomi shared a unique connection that made the loss even more profound. Naomi had been with him from the very start, and her absence left a significant void in his life. This loss marked another difficult chapter, but Clint, as always, managed to find the strength to keep going. In his later years, Clint faced a series of health battles that would test him further. By the 1980s, he was experiencing heart troubles and was diagnosed with coronary artery disease, a condition that compromised his heart's ability to function. His heart issues may have been aggravated by the severe skiing accident he had suffered years before. To improve his condition, Clint underwent bypass surgery. Though the procedure helped initially, it was not a permanent fix. Over the following years, Clint endured multiple heart attacks, each one chipping away at his strength. Despite his declining health, Clint's passion for acting never wavered. He wasn't ready to fully step away from the industry he loved, even as he dealt with these challenges. Acting had always given him a sense of purpose, and he wasn't about to let it go easily. But as his health continued to deteriorate, Clint had to choose less physically demanding roles, finding ways to stay active in Hollywood without overstraining himself. By the early 2000s, Clint was contending with atrial fibrillation, a condition that affects the heart's rhythm and often leaves a person short of breath. This condition left Clint feeling weak and fatigued, and the medications he was prescribed came with tough side effects. Fortunately, a heart defibrillator helped to stabilize his condition temporarily, giving him some relief and allowing him to maintain a level of normalcy in his daily life. As Clint's health continued to deteriorate, he found himself growing weaker. The once vigorous, powerful actor now battled daily challenges, yet he refused to let them define him. Even in his later years, Clint remained spirited and sociable, always eager to share a conversation with visitors and fans alike. Though his physical strength faded, his inner resilience and warmth never wavered. Sadly, Clint Walker passed away on May 21, 2018, just 9 days shy of his 91st birthday. Congestive heart failure, a condition that had gradually worn him down, ultimately took his life. Clint's passing marked the end of an era in Western cinema. He had been one of the genre's most cherished stars, embodying courage and rugged charm on screen. His death left a significant void in the entertainment world, but his legacy endures, as his iconic roles continue to resonate with fans worldwide. Clint was cremated, and his ashes were entrusted to his beloved wife, Susan. In his final moments, both Susan and his daughter Valerie were by his side, surrounding him with love and comfort as he quietly passed. Clint Walker's life story is one that will undoubtedly inspire future generations. Despite facing numerous hardships and emotional struggles, he showed the world how to face adversity with both courage and grace. More than just a talented actor, Clint embodied strength and resilience, leaving behind a legacy that transcends his roles on the screen.